recently, several members of the Metro Council have joined together in favor of an independent audit, believing that perhaps the mayor's office has too much influence in terms of auditing. But I think for the most part, you've opposed that independent audit, and perhaps you would like to give us some information relative to your position in reference to how it differs.
I don't think it's that big of an issue. My main concern about it is taking the internal audit department and handing it over to the council. I think is going to make it much more political, not less political. I think it has the potential of being just a political circus. It's not the way successful businesses do it. If you look at what Opryland does, or American General, or HCA, or the big successful businesses in town, they have strong internal audit departments reporting to the chief executive, to the mayor in the case of the city. And I have all my life used internal audit as a good, strong tool to manage well and get rid of inefficiency. And I'd be, you know, I guess disappointed if that tool were taken away from me. If I have to live with it, I will. But I think that the proposed charter amendment just creates another department, more red tape, and I think it's going to be more expensive and make my job harder. Very good.
Another area, and especially dealing with the audit, I'm reminded of the problems in terms of Metro General Hospital's audit at this particular point. And that brings us to the whole question of health care. And undoubtedly, you know that we're heading toward the merger between Meharry Medical College and General. And I think you've been very positive in terms of some of the things that you've said in reference to that. But how do you see that? That is, a person who has been involved in the delivery of medical service in terms of a profession. How do you see that whole issue?
Well, I'm very in favor of it for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think it does have the possibility of providing a great deal more and higher quality health care to indigent citizens of Davidson County. I wouldn't be in favor of it if I didn't think it could do that. Above and beyond that, though, I think it's become a very symbolic issue that that if we're able to tackle this problem and resolve it, that it really will have done a great deal to promote racial harmony and understanding within the city. I had the chance to talk several weeks ago with Andrew Young when he was here, the former mayor of Atlanta, who was very convincing about how important it was for Atlanta to have found an issue, in their case it was construction of the transit system, that really brought the black community and the white community together, solving some common problems. Now, we're not building a new transit system, and I think we've been dealt this opportunity in the form of this particular merger. And I would like very much to be in the mayor's office, to roll up my sleeves and to work with the medical community, the business community, General, Meharry, and really make this thing work.
Very good. You've already indicated your conversation with Mayor Young and some of the possibilities in terms of perhaps making Nashville another Atlanta, or perhaps greater than Atlanta. But how do you see the role of the business community in helping to develop that kind of image for Nashville? Now, what are they doing, for example, in Atlanta that perhaps we might be able to certainly not copy, but in some sense emulate in terms of our own desire to become a greater economic power?
Well, in the sense of the economy, one of the things which they did was, when they built the transit system in Atlanta, they made a promise that 20% of the business would go to minority contractors. Now, that took some help on the part of the white business community. There were minority contractors, for example, who didn't have the bonding capability to meet the bid requirements. So some of the banks stepped in and helped out in that process. And it's that kind of helping hand from the business community that I think can really help small businesses grow, can help minority-owned businesses grow in a way that promotes the whole economy here. And I'd like to take some leadership in asking businesses to help and participate in this way. You can't force them to, but I think you can make an awful persuasive argument that it's good for all of us if they do.
Now, what about, there have been some areas, and especially in terms of what we might call set-asides, that have been set aside especially for minority contractors and et cetera. And I think that has happened even here in Nashville. but most of the information that we get out of the newspapers tend to indicate that for the most part minority contractors are not able to take advantage of some of the set-asides and some of the things that have been perhaps made out for them. Now, how do you as mayor see your role in terms of trying to open up avenues of business development for minorities?
Well, again, it's very much in that category that we were talking about in regard to Atlanta, which is, I think there are a lot of very capable, small, minority-owned businesses in this community. There are some things in the way of their getting more business than they might otherwise be able to, including, I mean, unavailability of capital, can't get bonding, aren't big enough to bid on some of the bigger projects. And I think that by city government trying to work with these contractors, maybe to break up projects into a little smaller units so that they can reasonably bid on it, getting the banks to help in the area of bonding and capital and the like, or at least asking them to sit down and look at these employers, that you can help bring everyone in the community along. Minority businesses face the same problems that small businesses face everywhere. And I'm just very acutely aware of the fact that it's small businesses that really have generated the growth and the new jobs, and that we need to make sure that we have a community in which small businesses can prosper and grow and really take more and more part in the life of the city.
Okay, we've got about 3 minutes, and let me put this last question to you, and I think it's a question that you've probably been asked on many occasions. Why should people vote for PBredesen for mayor of Nashville?
Well, I think that anyone who's considering the mayor's race and who they want to vote has to look at the sort of backgrounds and the capabilities of the people involved. What I'm trying to say to people is, look, I started a business literally in the den of my house and grew it to a company which was bigger than metropolitan government in Nashville is today. Along the way, I learned a lot of things about how to manage businesses, how to handle finances, how to do budgets, how to make a service business a good place for people to work. And I'd like to bring some of that background and experience to the problems that metropolitan government has. I'd also say that this city has been so good to Andrea and I. We arrived here 15 years ago, her with a job, me without a job, in her Volkswagen. And over the years, we've prospered in this city and been able to grow and raise a family, and it's a wonderful place. And I think in city government, I have a chance to pay back some of the things that Nashville's done for me. So I hope people will agree that this is what Nashville needs and that I have the opportunity to do this.
Well, before we get this final closeout signal, is there anything else that you'd like to say to some of the voters this morning in reference to some of your projects or some of your aspirations? We've got
No, I just really, I've been working hard at this for, well, a year now, and trying to get into every corner of this community and just talk with real people. It's so easy to campaign from behind a television camera. And I've found by going out and talking with people a lot about the community, a lot about what people need. I'd like to continue doing that after I'm elected, and really believe that that I have the experience and the background and the leadership ability to really help Nashville get itself ready for this new century. It's a wonderful, wonderful city, and I'm proud to be living here.
Very good. And let me thank you for coming by and giving us that information. I know that you've been rushed and you've got some other scheduled things to do today, and that indeed it probably meant that it broke your schedule to be here.
No.
But nevertheless, we are delighted that you could come by and at least give our audience an opportunity to hear some of the things that you have planned for Nashville in case you are elected as our mayor. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Good morning.